I'm not like totally upset we're not in the relationship.
Alright, let's do it.
Set the pins on the ground first. Grab this side. Put your hands under like this. Alright, ready? Up. Ow. Okay. There's no. We have to get the bottom holes onto those guide pins right there.
Muscles come in handy around.
Ow! Hurry, grab the whole freaking thing. Ow! Oh my god. This is going so well.
You got it?
Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm gonna hold it down. Actually, you hold it down. Like this, just hold it. I can't see anything with these stupid glasses. And now we got the whole camera in here. So, you got the head seated on the guide pins, and then down here, you're gonna use your 13mm bolts, and just kind of, you know, these are just gonna really hold it in place. I still do have to get the actual head bolts from my other car, but we'll get those in after we get that head on too. Head says you got two different lengths. You got longer ones, and then you got shorter ones. For the bottom section, there's gonna be 3 of them, and then two shorter ones, one on each side. And then for the top, it's all gonna be longer. So that's how you're gonna put it in. We'll start super simple stuff. You go long one right here, just like so, and then you go short one right there. And then these ones up here are gonna be long, and then you're gonna have your other short one over here, you know, just like that. And it specifies 65 to about 80 foot-pounds of torque to seat these down all the way. So we're just gonna go about 73 max. Alright, so the heads have been torqued down, every bolt. I don't know if I'm going to degree them yet. I know it's important, but I don't know if it's like that important. But as of right now, they are torqued down, every one of them, to about 70 foot-pounds on the dot. Now, I would have gotten this done Monday because the timing set ended up coming in a day early. But, fun fact, I freaking blacked out from getting overheated. I didn't drink enough water. I was very dehydrated. So, ended up not really working out in my favor. But today, we got the timing set on, just bolted it up. Now with the timing and everything, I'm gonna explain that to you as easy as I can real quick. So the crank gear has a dot on it, and the cam gear also does. What you wanna do is you wanna have the crank gear up at 12 o'clock and have the cam gear at 6 o'clock. Make sure they're lined up dead even. Yes, I know mine aren't exactly like that, but they're close enough. But there's a catch. This is not your set timing for the compression stroke cylinder 1, so we can't just pop the distributor in and call it a day, or else you're gonna have no compression. What you got to do is you got to do a full rotation and have the crank gear sitting at 12 o'clock still, but then your cam gear is also going to be sitting at 12 o'clock. That is going to be top dead center, cylinder 1 of your compression stroke. Now you can put your distributor in. We've had our lifters soaking for quite some time now, a little bit longer than I had intentionally thought we would, but that's just because of all the things that have gone wrong in the past couple days. But that means they are filled with oil now and bled out, and they are ready to be installed in the motor. Like I said, unfortunately I cannot record this part, but you know, all you do is slide them in and then kind of angle them the best you can. I'll show you the process of what to do afterwards. Alright, went ahead and got all the lifters in. Nice and even. Don't worry about the ones that stick up farther. That's how it's supposed to be. Some people will tell you otherwise. And it also varies on the block you're using, the different motors and whatnot. Now we're going to go ahead and install our push rods in there. And for anyone that's like, oh, they need oil, you can't put push rods in without oil, don't worry about that. They'll have oil on startup. Just make sure they're even with the lifter. Don't do what I did. Got all the rockers on. You do want to tighten them down all the way, but back them off just a little bit for that perfect amount of valve lash. Not a lot where you're going to have tons of float, but just enough to where it's like the tiniest wiggle on startup. But nothing like this. I haven't even tightened them down yet, so don't worry. I am going to do that. But that's pretty much all I'm going to do right now, and we're going to go ahead and move on right after I tighten these down. Alright, we got the intake on. Each bolt is set to 30 foot-pounds. There's 8 of them. There should be 12, but for some reason, including the old intake, when the motor was previously rebuilt, the center bolts would not fit. I originally thought it was just the originals, and for some reason, they threw them away. So I went and bought a new set, and when I went to put them in, I realized the bolt holes don't line up on the new one or the old one. I don't know what the deal was with that, but we're just going to run it without them, and I hope it works. Maybe slip some RTV down there so oil doesn't come, you know, shooting up out of the thread holes and whatnot, because that wouldn't be any fun. The intake gaskets are still seated pretty well, and there's some rubber gaskets too that go along the front and the back instead of using RTV there, so nothing's going to melt over time. It's all going to stay solid, and if it does start leaking, worst case scenario, I take them off. Just a simple fix of putting a little bit of RTV on to prevent any coolant or oil leaking out in the future. Now this next part wasn't really necessary, but I figured I'd do it anyways. I went ahead and took the thermostat out of the housing, number one because it was disgusting as crap and didn't need to be inside the motor at all, so I threw that away. Kept the housing though and slapped it back on, so I'm going to be running this cooling system without a thermostat. So we got that mounted up. These bolts, about 10 foot-pounds, I think. If I remember, it was a few days ago at this point. Got it on there nice and safe. Like I said, these are in place of a plug. This one is not. That is an actual coolant line. But the sensor I have for this, which is right down here on the floor because I didn't need it anymore, because it's stupid and it doesn't fit. It just kind of falls in there. So can't use that. That's why I'm waiting for a couple metal plugs so I can just go ahead and slap one in there and slap one up in here as well. Now on the upper hand, I got the water pump on. Managed to get the new one on because I had to order a set of new bolts anyways because I stripped the old ones out. And this one right here was actually able to fit. Now the one that was able to fit on this side stripped out. It was the old bolt because this one was too long. I stripped that one out just a few minutes ago. So I ended up just getting some washers on there and tightening it down as much as I could without stripping it out. I didn't torque that one, but these are about 30 to 35 foot-pounds. I did like 32. I still do have to get the spout in, which is sitting right over there with the wrench next to it. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. And I have to get the spokes in right here to get the fan pulley on. But other than that, and no carburetor, we pretty much have a complete motor right here. Like I said, once this is the first motor I've ever built myself, pulled from a car in fact. So I'm pretty happy about this. This is not an accomplishment for me. Yes, it's an accomplishment, but it don't feel that way. It feels nice to have finally gotten it done.